All right, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about speaking life to your circumstance. You gotta learn to speak life to your circumstance. No matter what it is that you're going through, you have power in your words. And I know this sounds a bit cliche because you've heard it maybe. When you find yourself in a situation where you might not know how to get out of that situation or how to cope in that situation, what I have found is to speak life. And this goes for any situation because your words have power. When you begin to change the way you think, your perspective is changed. And that is what you want. You want to change the way you look at things. And when you change the way you look at things, you change the way you think and the way you process things. All right? So no matter what it is that you're going through, whether it's a health problem or you got fired from your job or your boyfriend or husband had left you, no matter what it is, in every situation and every circumstance, you have got to learn to speak life. Everyone goes through trials and tribulations, okay? It builds your character. It grooms you who you are as a human. Life is not going to be a bed of roses. People will go through things. You will go through obstacles. You will go through situations that puts you in a place where you're tested. All right, but out of that, as I've said before, becomes your character, and that sort of grooms you into who you are and who you're going to be. But in the midst of being the best version of yourself, you got to learn how to use the tools, use what you have. All right, use your spoken word. All right, and I'm going to ask you this question. In the midst of all of that, whatever your situation or circumstance is, what do you want to happen? You got to know what you want to happen in order to be able to speak life to that particular thing. So one of the things that I bought for myself was this plant called the ZZ plant. So I neglected the plant, and when I actually went back to look at the plant, I realized the condition of the plant, and I said to myself, oh my God, this plant is going to die. What am I going to do? Now again, I know nothing about how to save or rescue a plant or how to replant plants and do all of that crazy stuff. I just know I bought a plant, it looked nice, I put it in the house, and I'm trying to let it live or grow. I watered it occasionally, but I sort of left it alone to do its own thing where the neglection sort of came in. So I took the plant, I took it outside to the backyard. I took some regular home scissors that I had, and I just started like cutting the bottom of the plants, or I started, in my mind, I wanted to cut off all of the dead roots and keep the ones that looked the freshest to me. Again, no prior knowledge of anything. So I sort of quote unquote did my own pruning of the plant and placed it back into a new plant pot and added soil to it. And when I did that, I took the plant and placed it back onto the same shelf, and I repositioned it where it can, get direct sunlight. And every day or every other day, I went to the same shelf and I was just looking at the plant, probably around the same time. And I was just looking at the plant and I was saying to myself, oh my God, like I was so sorrowful of how I sort of neglected it. And I said to myself, oh my God, I hope you live. I don't want you to die. You're the first plant, that I bought for myself, and I really want to take care of this plant. I went up, I went and I got this little bottle of anointed oil that I got from my pastor. And I began, this is crazy, I know. And I began to anoint the leaves of the plant. I didn't pour the oil in the soil or anything like that. But I began to anoint the leaves of the plant. And I said, you will not die. You're going to live. And I began to say things like that, like you're going to be strong and you're going to be healthy and you're going to grow new stems. And I was saying these things to the plant. And whilst I was anointing the leaves, I was watering it at the same time, and I took a little napkin and I was dusting off some of, the dust on the leaves, because the ZZ plant, the beauty of the plant is the leaves, they get shiny over time, where it looks as if it's a fake plant, but it's real and it's very beautiful, and the leaves are thick and green and super shiny, where it almost looks like plastic. So I began to speak life to the plant, and I watched it grow. And again, I had no knowledge of what I was doing, but every single day or every other day, I was going back to the plant and watching it, and I began to talk to it. And in time, I began to see the plant grow, and new roots and stems were coming out. And I became so happy, because it was just that little act of faith for me to say, you know what? This plant is dying, and let me try to rescue it, because physically it just looked as if it was going to die, and I didn't know how to save it. And I just tried something, and in the midst of trying something, I made an effort, and from that effort I began to speak life. And I said, hey, you know what, plant, you're gonna get stronger, you're gonna grow, you're not gonna die on me now, your leaves are gonna get thicker, and we're gonna make it. What is your plant? All right, ask yourself that right now. What is that situation or that plant in your life that might seem as though physically it is going to die? All right, and in the same way that I told my story of how I took that plant and I cut off the dead roots, you got to assess your circumstance in that same way. Is there anything surrounding that circumstance that you might need to sort of do a pruning and get rid of, or shape up and sort of reassess, realign, rethink what's currently happening right now? And after that, you begin to then speak life to that situation. You got to learn to speak life, because in speaking life, if you imagine your words as superpowers, whatever you say, you are commanding it. And when you command, you're exercising that authority you have as to say, no, I'm not going to accept this plant. Again, whatever your plan is, whatever your circumstance or situation, I'm not going to accept this plant to just die on me here, especially because you care about the plant. Your plant could be your health, again, your job, your marriage, your children, whatever the circumstance may be, because as humans, we all go through different things. But you gotta speak life. You use that word, you command your circumstance. A, this is going to change. B, it's going to change because, and you list the reasons of what it's going to change. C, it might not look as if it's a bell of roses, or it might be good, or things might not be happening at the moment, but using your faith of what you want to happen and your spoken word to that circumstance, and then you believe that it will happen. Once you utter it, that's a command. Your word is a command. All right? Your word is your command. And when you begin to do these little things, and it's not going to be easy at first, it takes practice. As with a lot of things, it takes practice. And I guess this is where you begin to say those positive affirmations, whatever the circumstance is, and whatever you've decided to prune from that circumstance, or however you've decided to speak life to that circumstance, you begin to remind yourself of that. Keep reminding yourself of your spoken word, that positive affirmation. Write it down if you have to write it down. Put it on a sticky note. Put it somewhere that you will remember these things. Because the more you remind yourself of it, the more you speak of it, even if you don't believe in it at first, each day you begin to speak on it and meditate on it, and you remind yourself where you want to go, you end up believing in it even further. And you begin to have more faith, and you begin to grow and excel in whatever circumstance you might be going through. When you speak life to your circumstance, you automatically excel above it. whatever it is. You speak life, you rise. It's so easy for us as humans to accept negativity and have doubt and, you know, have a spiral or a snowball effect of negative thoughts. Why is that? We got to learn to change the way we think of things and use that spoken word, use our command as we can. This all goes into that alignment of being the best human and the best version of yourself without limitations, without doubts. I mean, it's a little crazy, you know, and a little radical that I got that olive oil and anointed the leaves of the plant. It is a little crazy. But again, the act of faith and believing and making the movement and then following up and reminding yourself, that is what I want to see from you guys. So I ask you this question again. What is that plant in your life right now that might seem, or that might physically seem, as if it is deteriorating? And what can you do to prune that plant? And when you finish pruning that plant, what commands are you going to give that plant? What is your actions going to be day after day for that plant? All right? I want you to be the best version of yourself, hands down. Speak life. Speak life. Speak life. Speak life. Speak life. All right? Be prosperous. And see you on the next video.